Welcome to Wisdom Era online classes. Today in this session you will be able to learn Mughal Empire. The Mughals established their presence in 1529 at Panipat. A battle was fought between Babur and Ibrahim Lodi. Lodi army was defeated. Consequently, Babur established the kingdom of Mughals. Like Babur belongs to Taimur, he wanted to loot India, so that's why he invaded. Being an able general, Babur defeated Ibrahim Lodi in Panipat war. Babur was helped by Rajput prince Rana Sangram. Only took his share of the loot but also established himself as the ruler. He defeated Rana Sanga and the Afghan general who helped in his battle against the Lodis. Babur was a great scholar. He wrote whatever he saw. These writings were called Babarnama. He was great ruler. He built many parks inside and outside the palaces, though he laid the foundation of Mughal Empire. He did not live long to see all its growings. So after the death of Babur, Humayun came to be power as a ruler. He belongs to Afghan noble. So after Humayun, Sher Shah ruled Mughal dynasty by the defeat of Humayun in 1556. So later, Sher Shah defeating Humayun, Sher Shah became the ruler of Delhi. He was an able administrator and he introduced a rational system of taxation. He introduced many reforms. He constructed the Grand Trunk Road. He planted trees, built rest houses. He issued the coin known as rupiah. Now also it's famous, which we call today as rupee. He also introduced a postal system. He died in an accident in 1545. In 1555, Humayun regained the throne of Mughals. Again, Mughal ruler started. Mughal era started. So his guardian Bairam Khan, he distinguished the different kinds of ruling. Akbar was protected by Bairam Khan. He was a very great ruler and friendly with the Hindus through matrimonial alliances, through appointment of Hindus in his court. Akbar was able to command over a large empire. Akbar divided his empire into 15 provinces or subas. That subas subdivided into a number of sarkars and each sarkar into paraganas. The governor and subadar was responsible for the law and order of his subas. Akbar introduced the very important system that is called as Mansabdari. Mansab means the rank given to the nobles, the rank given to rulers. So the state enjoyed income at the time of Akbar. So land revenue system, taxation, and he himself as a great ruler, being an illiterate, he introduced many systems. So great scholars like Abul Faizi, Abul Fazal, Birbal and Todar Mullah enjoyed Akbar's love and respect in his court. Persian was the official language that time. Writing in Hindi made its enormous popularity. Akbar was a great patron of music and arts. Tansen, famous musician, used to entertain the king. Like the Indian Persian style of art and architecture was also developed at the time of Akbar. And then Fatehpur Sikri is an example of the excellent style of architecture that was famous at the time of Akbar. So in this way, art, architecture, literature reached high sky at the time of Akbar. So later Akbar established the very important teaching of all religions that is called as like Deen-hi Ilahi. Means what? The combination of different kinds of religion, it is called as Deen-hi Ilahi. So 9 gems, they were the patronage of Akbar. And Abul Faizi translated the Bhagavad Gita into Persian. Birabals with intelligence was well known. Akbar's sincere effort to bring the Indians together were a landmark in the social life of the people. After the Akbar, Jahangir came to be power from 1605 to 1627. Jahangir succeeded Akbar. He was an able administrator and follower of many of his father's qualities. Because of Akbar's effort and farsightedness combination in the Jahangir and rulers of Mewar, Ahmednagar and so many people they defeated by Jahangir. And Sir Thomas Roe visited Jahangir's kingdom and Thomas Roe explained the glory of Akbar, Jahangir and so on the different era. So Noor Jahan was very beautiful, intelligent and educated. She was the wife of Jahangir. When Jahangir gave permission to the Britishers to set up factories, so though that would become the rulers, means the memories of Jahangir is called Tujik-i-Jahangiri. It was the work of Jahangir. So then he was a lover of nature. He died in 1627. So as a result of this, Shah Jahan came to be power as a biggest ruler and foremost ruler from 1627 to 1659. Shah Jahan had to deal with many revolts. Taj Mahal, whatever the wonderful tomb of his queen Mumtaz, he was the royal patronage and peacock throne belonged to his reign. Diwan hai Ayam, Dihani, Kasa, Jami Masjid, Moti Masjid and Red Fort, those are the gift given by Shah Jahan. The greatest monument Taj Mahal built on the bank of Yamuna River, a marvelous, excellent, precious, semi-precious stones, gold, silver is one of the 7 wonders of the world. It took 22 years to build the marvel. Shah Jahan in his old age had to witness the fight for the different sons, 4 sons. One of the son, Aurangzeb, defeated his brothers, imprisoned his father and crowned himself as the king. In 1666, Shah Jahan died at the age of 74. Then after Aurangzeb came to be power from 1659 to 1707, nearly 50 years he ruled. He raised the taxes to sustain the campaigns by himself, honest man, he declared. With a simple lifestyle, he was a Muslim to the core. So his rule with the help of the laws of the Islam made him very unpopular. The Rajput 6 Jats Marathas resisted him, as is the enough he had to face trouble with them. The Portuguese and the English, they opposed against Aurangzeb. He destroyed many Hindu temples. He banished all the scholars from his court. So when he died in March 1707, the empire was collapsing. So later, Shivaji came to be power after Aurangzeb. The death of Aurangzeb, Bahadur Shah and so many people like after who was the last ruler of Mughals means Bahadur Shah was the last ruler. And Mughals and Marathas, like Shivaji and Mughals, they fought with each other. Then Nadir Shah, Ahmad Shah Abdali, so many people they invaded. The rise and fall of the Mughal empire, they reached like in this type of situations. The powerful Maratha leader Shivaji fought between Mughals in 1761, ambitious and decided head independent kingdom with a small army of brave soldiers with intelligence. Planning and execution of strategies, Shivaji succeeded in overcoming enemies. He was an optimum of patriotism. So history tells us that Shivaji was a real pain in the neck for Aurangzeb, a brave, fearless warrior. Shivaji is even now remembered as the most popular hero who dared against the Mughals. After the Aurangzeb's death, the Mughal empire broke down due to the internal quarrels. So in the court among sons of Aurangzeb, the attacks from outside and the inefficiency of the rulers. The Persian ruler Nadir Shah attacked India and carried away huge quantities of gold, jewels and other treasures. So from India he killed many and destroyed beautiful buildings in Delhi. He left India with the Kohinoor diamond, the Taki, Tahus, elephants and horses, so many. So the reign of Alangir, like he defeated the Nawab of Bengal in the Battle of Plassey in 1757. During the time of Shah Alam II, the third Battle of Panipat fought between Marathas and Afghans, and the Battle of Buxar between the East India Company and the joint army of Mir Qasim, Sujid-Daul and Shah Alam II happened. During the time of last Bahadur Shah Jafar, the revolt of 1867 broke out. The British suppressed the revolt, exiled the Emperor of Rangoon, where he died in 1862. The Mughal Empire lasted for nearly 350 years. One of the reasons for its failure was that down the line of success, it is met with financial troubles. The Jamindars, with the support of the peasants, defied the emperors. The aristocratic steeped the luxury enjoyment completely unaware. So, the advent of the Europeans who were eagerly and cleverly looking weak spots and expand their empire. In this way, the treasury. Thank you, one and all.